Let's get to
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now? Yeah, I hear you.
I thought my recording, my thing was off.
Class average for the test, first test. When's the test over with? Okay, so it's over with?
What?
No, it's January 30th for you. So I'm going to go to, where's it? I'll fix yours, but you took it, right? Yeah. Okay. There we go. Managing completes. Let's see how many zeros we got. Right now, students are going zeros. Who would miss a test for a week? Well, it says zero, so I can't believe it. Y'all proving me wrong. Can't believe everybody did it. Yep. Class average is 90. Median is 90. Good. I'm very proud of that. I guarantee you there's a 50 in there somewhere. But we won't discuss it. Let's go back to the main menu. Chapter contents. Somebody have to tell me. I think we start with chapter 4, right? Yeah, Hubert. Probability. What is probability? No, that's not. Must be chapter 5. Chapter 5? Huh? I think this is.
Yeah, the thing says we
must be
start
chapter 5 we're
when.
going to next. This book screws up everything. I mean, not this book. Let me go to chapter 5.
5.1 is probability rules.
Let's try this. Did y'all say something? I'm sorry, I can't hardly hear you. Let me turn the speaker up. There we go. Probability. No, I hadn't gone over that yet. I'll go over that later. All right, probability. Yep. Let's go here, and we're going to talk about probability. Now, everybody knows, I don't know if you know where Wild Hog Road is, but here's Highway 24. And here's Michelin Boulevard. Here's Tri-County Tech. And campus. And you go on down the road, and you go across the double bridges. And there's a road at Garrett's that turns right. This is Garrett's. The marina's down here. This is Garrett's. And this is Poundville. I-85 is up here. And Wild Hog Road goes all the way to Pendleton. Now the transplants, they don't know what Wild Hog Road is. They call it Highway 187. But it's not Highway 187. Highway 187 goes to Saddle Creek. Wild Hog Road is Wild Hog Road, but most transplants don't know that. Anyway, to make a long story short, this is Pendleton High School. And right after you pass Pendleton High School, you're going to get to a red light. And that red light is going dead end. This is Sandy Springs. And this is what? Pendleton. Okay? Now, it takes about 15 minutes to get from Highway 24 to Pendleton. Right? But if you are in a hurry, and you have a class at 8 o'clock, and you get on Wild Hog Road at 7:45, you're going to get behind Little Blue Haired Ladies Club. Here's you. Okay? And you're going to get behind Little Blue. They have a club that goes down this road. They have CBs and everything. Blue Haired Ladies Club. What is the Blue Haired Ladies Club? They are the drivers that drive below what? 35 miles per hour.
Yeah, they do about 35.
Yeah, they do about 30. Okay? And they will not budge. They're kind of like the annoying student in your other classrooms. They never miss a day. They come every single day. The annoying student. Y'all ever had an annoying student in one of your classes? They never miss a day. Never. Anyway, they stay on that road, and you're supposed to be there. You can kiss 8 o'clock goodbye, because you'll get there about 8:15, 8:20 now. All right? And you can't pass. Why? Because it's a two-lane road, and there's 15,000 trucks coming from Pendleton to Highway 24. So you're pretty much SOL. So what do? Well, you wait until you get to the end of the road. Well, then you start to think to yourself, you start to say, wait a minute, I've got to turn left. I bet you $1 the little blue-haired old lady's going to turn left. And as soon as you say that, what comes on? The left blinker. And you say to yourself, I have just foretold the what? The future. Have you? Can you predict the future? No. Nobody can predict the future. And my cousin's aunt, sister's brother's aunt, she can't. Because if anybody can tell the future, what's the first question you're going to ask? I want the winning what? That's all you got to ask. Okay? Just one question. I'll give you $100 if you can answer this question. I want the winning lottery numbers for tonight's draw. And what are they going to say? Nobody can tell the future. But how did you tell that they were going to turn left? One, you've got behind Little Blue-Haired Old Ladies Club before. Experience. That's still right, I don't think it is. Experience. Okay. 2. There's not much math done here, but I'm going to put math or observation. And then here, I'm going to put common sense. Now, a lot of you say, what common sense will be in this scenario? Well, there's only one way to get to Pendleton from Highway 24. 2 ways, really. You can go Highway 85, which is about 2 miles on up the road, on 24. Or you can go Clemson Boulevard from Anderson, go 28 bypass, hit Clemson Boulevard and go up. All right. There's a couple other ways you can go, but not as quick. Okay. So if there's a person on Wild Hog Road, you've got about a 90% chance that they're going to go to where? Penalty. Because they're not going to go to the head, they're not going to go and go back toward where they came from to go to Sandy Springs. If they would take Centerville Road, or they would take another road and hit Sandy Springs another way. You see what I'm saying? So you got to put a little bit of common sense in with it. All right? But you can take these three things right here, and you crunch them all together and put a number on a prediction. Now, when you put a number on a prediction, that's called probability. Okay? When you put a number on a prediction, that's called probability. You're not foretelling the future, but you can basically use experience, observation, mathematics, or observances, and common sense, just like rolling a 7 on a die. Here's a die right here. I can guarantee you that there's no chance in Hades you can roll a 7 on this die. Why? There's no 7 on it. So that's using common sense. Okay? Did I predict the future? Yes, I did. I told you there's no way that you can roll a 7 on this die. But I didn't predict the future. I just used what? Common sense. Okay? Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, I got a friend that can interpret this and do this and do this. All you got to do is ask them what? What are the lottery numbers? All you got to do. I'm going to prove this once and for all. Okay? You got an aunt, brother, sister's cousin that can read tea leaves and give you the future. Just tell them, I need 6 numbers. Okay? I need you to ask your tea leaves, give me 6 numbers. And if they give you 6 numbers and you win, guess what? They can tell the future. Okay? But is that going to happen? No. And if it does, it's going to be a 1 in 259 million chance. Okay? Most of the time, that person's going to give you 6 numbers. Guess what? You're not going to win because nobody can tell the future. Okay? Now, I can guess, just like when I'm getting up cows. Okay? When you get up cows, there's a holding pen, and the holding pen is real small, about the size of this room, maybe 2 of these rooms. Okay, it's got a head gate, and that's where you put the cow and give it shots, vaccine, whatever. Okay, but the holding pen is usually a centralized place that's connected to what? All these other pastures, right? And it's usually centralized, and there's usually a smaller pen somewhere that you run them into to get them into. Here's a smaller pen, and you run them into the holding pen. All right, now this is about 20 acres. This is about 50 acres. This is about 30 acres. So you got some BA. You got about 10 cows over here, and you got a. Well, if I can hit that. Okay. I'm going to use this big 6. Got a gate right here. 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 All right. You got 10 or 20 cows up here. And you want to get them, and they're in this pasture, so you're not going to bring them around the world. So you want them to go to this gate. So you take your handy gate, and you open it. And you open that gate, and it opens back this way. And of course you open this gate, but I'm not worried about this gate, because this is only 10 acres, this is 10 acres, this is 5 acres, and this is holding. So, but you forget that gate is open But you also forget that this gate over here, it's not all the way open, but it's barely open. Let's say it's like this. Okay, everybody with me? So you take your handy dandy truck, car, take your handy dandy truck or car, horses or whatever, and you get behind these cows. And then you start honking the horn or whatever the case may be. These cows have two options. They can go to that gate because they're familiar with the property, or they can go to this gate. I will tell you right now, I can bet $100 bill which one those cows are going to go to. Which one they're going to go to. They're going to go to the gate that's halfway open that you can't even fit one cow through. They're going to go to that gate. Now, did I just tell the future? Yes. But how did I tell the future? Experience. Now, common sense, there's no common sense. They're both in the pasture. One's open, one's not. 9 times out of 10, when you get behind those cows, that lead cow is going to go to that gate that's halfway open. Now, how does she know it's open? I don't know. Okay? But she ain't going to go to that gate that's all open over there because that's the one you want her to go to. All right? Just like the little old lady. Probability. You can't tell the future, but you can use experience, observations, and math to tell what's going to happen. Now, you've got these other instances in your lives. You know what I'm talking about. Just like you can go to work 10 times out of the month. Okay, there's 30 days in the month, and you're late. That one time, you got one time, and you're going to be late, and it's like, I don't know. I know with nursing you can only be late like 3 times and you get in trouble. All right. And you late the first 2 times, and you clock in, nobody's there to see that you're late. But that 3rd time, who's going to be sitting there at the clock when you're 3rd time late? Your supervisor. Did you tell the future? No, that's just the way it happens. All right? You can think of these things all day long, and they happen. Are you ready to go buy a lottery ticket and win $200 million? No, because you won't be able to tell the future there because that's random numbers. Okay? Random means there ain't no way you're going to guess it. That's pretty much what it means. All right? Now, what is probability? Probability is putting a number to a prediction. That's basically what it is. Assigning a number to a prediction. This is a Hubertism, so you're not going to see this in the book. Based on experience, observation, or mathematics, or statistics, which is mathematics. Okay. Now the number is going to be between 0 and 1, meaning it's going to be a decimal. Okay. 0.01 means it ain't going to happen. 0.5 means it's halfway chance. 0.99 means it's pretty much going to happen. Think of cents between 0 and $1. Okay? Now, there's 2 types of probability. There's your Mayberry probability, and then there's your physical probability. Will this be in your book? No. Okay. Mayberry probability is your theoretical probability. You can put theoretical. I don't know how to spell it. Theoretical. Theoretical. Meaning it's based on what? Math. This die. How did I know that there's a 0% chance that you're going to roll a 7? Because there's only 6 numbers on it, 1 through 6. So I used math and process of elimination to say there's no way possible you could roll a 7 on this die. You could use the same thing with an 8, with a 9, with a 10, anything above 6, because there's only 1 through 6 on this die. Okay? Now, same thing with a deck of cards. What is the probability of pulling a 12 in a deck of cards? 1. It only goes 10. Exactly. All right? Now, if you don't know your deck of cards, you need to get out from that rock that you live under, and you need to learn about a deck of cards. Same thing about a die. It's got 6 sides. It's a cube. It's got 6 sides. All right? There's things that you have to know. Okay? Deck of cards are one of those things. If you want to fail this test, then do not learn about a deck of cards. And you'll probably miss 3 or 4 questions on the test. Observation. Is physical probability. Take my deck of cards. What is the probability of picking a face card out of these deck of cards? Well, a lot of people know that. I'm looking for the big mode and little mode. There it is. Sorry. The jokers and the directions. You might know what big mode and little mode? Spades. One thing you learn out of the Marine Corps is how to play spades. And buddy, once you play 300 or 400 hands of spades, you know you can talk jump because you know who's got what after you throw down the first hand. Yep. There, big mode, little mode. 52 cards. Now, y'all, I didn't even shuffle the cards, and y'all said 4 out of 52. How'd you do that? Well, you psychic. It's magic. No, you didn't. Mayberry probability. The probability of picking a face card. Probability of a face card. Y'all just shouted out 4 over 52. Well, you just did the Mayberry probability. You did the theoretical probability based on math, based on the cards. But if I did, and I'm going to ask y'all to do this, if y'all can do it without messing up things. Students sometimes can't do that. I'm going to do 5 hands. Okay? So I'm going to take my handy dandy cards and I'm going to shuffle them up. I suck at this and then these cards are pretty cards. Okay, be quiet. Okay, all those people that y'all can do all kinds of tricks, that's fine and dandy. I can't. I don't have smokestacks on the truck yet. Oh my gosh, me and my son was going down the road the other day and we saw this truck. Oh my gosh. And this truck was nasty looking. I mean, it was a Dodge, which Dodges, you have to really work to make a Dodge look bad. Okay? This was about a 99, and I like the 99s and 2000s, even though they don't have the 4th door. I like them. I like the quad cab. They're good trucks. Yeah. Well, this was a black 99 Dodge, and it had these super duper size smokestacks. And I'm not talking about just smokestacks, but these suckers were this big. And they wasn't just coming out of the bed. They were coming out the side of the cab, going up the side of the cab and up about 10 feet in the air. Has anybody seen this truck? It's black.
And I'll tell you how you know the difference. It's black and the smokestacks are rusty as rusty can be.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know, where do we see that, Walt? You remember? Was it Milo? It was pretty nasty. Yeah. We made fun of him.
It probably used to be a white truck.
Yeah. You got all that soot all over it. I don't know how I got into that, but I just remember that. That was an awful looking truck. But you ever seen one where the smokestacks are too long or too high? This was one of those. I bet those smokestacks were 10 feet high. Yeah, it's just really.
He's got issues.
Yeah. You know, it's short, no hair, or we won't discuss it. Okay, so I take this out and I shuffled it 3 or 4 times and I cut them and I picked apart. Now, is that the magic? No, that's coincidence. I was expecting something else. Okay? No, I'm sorry. It's supposed to be a king. I'm sorry. King. Okay. All right, so that didn't work because that's not a king. So do I put it back in? Yes, because that's called with replacement. Put it back in the deck. Now what do I do? Shuffle them up again. I'm going to pick 5 hands. Make sure first of all, make sure your hands are not slippery, and make sure that you break in the deck a little bit better than I have. All right.
That was your worst one yet.
I know.
We're just watching you fall apart.
Yeah, that's it.
You're gonna lose everything.
I'm actually better at this than you might think. Except these cards, I don't think this deck's ever been opened.
You probably need a cigar.
Yeah, that's what I need. We were doing the movie, the play Titanic, and I was telling the kids this the other day, and I was playing the part where I was playing this major, and this major talked about all kinds of stuff that he never did, and just made up stuff. Back in this war, he did this, and in this war, he saved the whole town, and in this war, he got thrown off his horse, and he fought off 25 troops and all this stuff. And they're sitting there playing cards, and the ones that smoke, I didn't do that because I can't do the cigarette thing. So as I said, I'll play the cards. Well, in walks the what do you call the guy that serves stuff? Waiter, I guess. He comes in with a tray of drinks. Okay, and this guy's from England. Okay, he's a legitimate actor. He's not like me. Okay, he's a legitimate. Been acting for years. He comes from England. Got the exotic voice and everything, the English voice. And he comes in. He says, "Everybody, what's a drink?" Blah blah blah. He did his thing and he put the drinks down. And it's supposed to be tea. It ain't. Mr. Englishman decides to put whiskey in each one of them. So we all salute and do this, and we go, and we all look at each other and go. That happens sometimes.
Well, because on the movies, they're like pounding whiskey and they don't even make a face or anything.
No, it's tea.
Yeah, they like turn up a bottle and just keep talking.
Yeah.
Like, in reality, you'd be like, he would die.
Especially with moonshine or something like that.
You know, on the movies,
All right, so here's our second hand. Here we go. You ready? I'm gonna pick me a king right here. This is 3. So out of 2 hands. So I'm just gonna do it one more time. I'm just gonna do this because the cards suck, and I'm gonna spread it out. Yeah, Russia's. These are Russian cards. That's a 2, so that's 3 hands. And I'm gonna mix them up a little bit. And this is what I'm gonna ask y'all to do, but y'all gonna do it about 10 or 20 times. It'll be groups of 5 because there's only 5 decks. Okay. Spread it out. Pick this card right here. 10. So far, we ain't doing too
You're
good.
losing money.
We suck, all right? But you're finding out the difference between the theoretical probability and the observed probability. The observed probability is never going to match the theoretical probability because if it did, what would Las Vegas do?
Shut up.
It'd shut down and go bankrupt. Okay? That's why we have Las Vegas and that's why we have the stock market. Okay?
I can feel it. This is it.
Yeah.
See?
5. 0 out of 5. So what is our,
Nailed it.
yeah, the probability, a physical probability of picking a king is equal to 0 out of 52, which is, or no, not 0 out of 52. How many times did we do it? 5, which is 0. Okay? Now, why didn't the two match? Well, there's this thing called law of large numbers. And the best way to explain the law of large numbers is to tell you a little story about these two kids at MIT. They were mathematicians and computer geeks, and they decided to figure out how many times it actually took a coin to get from the observed number to the theoretical number. So they took a roll of quarters. Now, how many rolls? There's what? 40 quarters in a roll of quarters, right? So they took these quarters and they micrometered them, they weighed them, they infrared scanned them, they balanced them to see which ones were balanced and which ones were not. And they took all this information and made one virtual quarter in the computer, in the algorithm. Okay? Remember, they scanned them, they checked them for balance. If they were balanced, they micrometered them. They checked everything you could check. And then they wrote down these things and they got an average and they made this virtual quarter in the computer from those 40 quarters. And they wrote an algorithm to flip that quarter and for it to be random and for it to fall naturally, and it couldn't fall on its side and stand up, all that interesting stuff. The whole point is, how many times did it take that virtual quarter to be flipped to equal the perfect the Mayberry probability? Well, the probability of tails or heads is equal to point what? 5. That's the theoretical probability. But if you flip the coin 5 times, you wouldn't come up with 2.5 out of 5. You wouldn't, because that's half. The computer found that the probability of getting tails was 0.49995 after the computer flipped it. $100,000 times. So, what does this mean? Well, if you want the physical probability to match the theoretical probability, you're going to have to use BA what? BA numbers, BA tries. Now, what does this have to do with this probability class? Well, let's say that you work at Michelin or Bosch, okay? And the reason I use Michelin, Bosch, First Quality, I'm using those because those are 3 industries that are in Anderson. And some of y'all have ties to all 3 of them, if not one of them, okay? I have several friends that work at Bosch. I have several friends that work at Michelin, okay? Some of y'all's parents work at Michelin. Some of y'all's parents work at Bosch, okay? First Quality, Miller, what? None of them? Then your parents are losers and live in the ditch. Okay, now.
They're actually not from here.
I'm kidding. What I'm saying is everybody in here has a tie to one of these companies. Okay? You either got a friend whose parents work there, you got a friend that works there, you got a parent that works there. I just use those 3 companies. If you want to use another company, you can. But Michelin has this Crystal Palace up there on I-85, and y'all know what it looks like. It's just a big old Crystal Palace looking thing. It's got these big old things like here. Yeah, it looks like a Crystal Palace. And the people that work in this Crystal Palace make 6 or 7 figures because they are the head honchos of Michelin. And one of their offices is probably quality what? Quality assurance director or something. Now this guy probably makes 6 figures, and he probably does not eat very much because he has ulcers. Okay? All right, because he's stressed and always having to do stuff. Anyway, one of his jobs, and let's say there's, I don't know about how many plants there are in the United States. I know there's 2 plants in the Southeast, but I don't know if there's more in the United States. If anybody can answer that question, good, that's fine. But we're going to say that there's 4 in the United States, okay? And his job is to present every year and to take care of quality assurance at those 4 Michelin plants, okay? And then he presents to the directors of the head honchos at the Crystal Palace. And then those head honchos take that money, the money that he says is going to, and they put it in next year's what? Budget, okay? So let's say that there's 2 people. One is a young whippersnapper. He's an assistant. He's a QA assistant. And then you got the QA guy, the director. And he comes from France, and he speaks French, and he's been with the company for 115 years, and he does a good job. All right? So he wants to train this quality assurance assistant, probably makes 5 figures, not 6. But he wants to train this guy to do his job in the next 10 years. So he says, okay, I want you to tell me how good the Anderson plant is doing, not the Sandy Springs plant. I'll take the Sandy Springs plant, you take the Anderson plant. And I want to know what to put in next year's budget for tires that are messed up. Now, we're not talking about tires that the company sells and then comes back. We're talking about tires that never make it outside Michelin, okay? They have these inspectors, and the inspector finds a big hole in the side of one of the tires. Okay, they send it back, build it down, build another. See what I'm saying? Those that never meet the outside of Michelin. They never go outside because they're defective. All right? So, the little whippersnapper says, okay, I'll go over to the Sandy Springs. What did they say? He's going to be in charge of Anderson. So he goes over here to Anderson, over here, about a mile this way. And he goes over there, he pulls 10 tires. And he finds out that 5 of them are defective. And he says, okay, these are fairly big tires because they go on equipment. So that's going to be 5, project 5 every year. So that's going to be, I don't know how much those big tires are. I know tractor tires are about $1,200 a piece. So we'll say they're $2,500. So 5 quarters is what? $1.25. So you're talking about $12,500. Everybody with me? So he goes to the directors and he says, well, the Anderson plant is doing a good job. They only had 5 defective tires, which would be probably you need to put in the budget $15,000. And the guys smoking the big cigars up there at Crystal Palace says, okay, we're going to put $15,000 in for the Anderson plant. Well, the QA director, he's doing the Sandy Springs plant. And the Sandy Springs plant, they don't do big tires, but they do tires. So he goes and he pulls 1,000 tires. And he finds out that 450
68 of them are bad. So he basically says 50%. 50% are bad. So if you're talking about, anywhere to $100 to $200 a tire, blah blah blah, you're talking $200. That'd be $100,000. So he's just gonna throw out a number like, okay, I think the Sandy Springs plan is probably gonna be around $200,000. So you might want to put in the budget $300,000 for defective tires with the Sandy Springs plan because they're smaller tires. Okay, the next year rolls around, and the Anderson plant has $1 million worth of defective tires. And the Sandy Springs plant has $250,000 worth of defective tires. What's going to happen?
The assistant gets fired.
Why does the assistant get fired? Everybody gets a trophy. Why does he get
He
fired?
was nowhere close.
He was nowhere close, and he lost the Fat Cats. They lost what? A lot of money because they had to put the difference between $1 million and $15,000. They had to put that difference back into the till because they didn't get the budget right because little Johnny just picked 10 tires. Okay. Now, what did the director get? He got a bonus because he saved the company how much money? $50,000 because he got it within the estimate. The moral of this story is if you ever have to present anything to a supervisor, do you pick 10 tires or do you pick 1,000 tires? Law of large numbers. You always go with large numbers, always. Now, I'm not saying go out and interview 1 million people if you're doing a survey about how many people drive white cars at Tri-County Tech, okay? What I'm saying is you don't go out and just interview 5 people, you interview maybe 50 or 100 or 150. You want to make sure you cover your what? Cover your rear end, okay? The assistant did not do that. The assistant just went out and picked 10 tires. Now, of course, the assistant is not trainable because he's fired. He's got to find, the director's got to find somebody else that might listen next time, okay? Question on that. So the law of large numbers is something for you to connect the probability with the statistics. You see what I'm saying? If you're going to do a survey, if you're going to get information about a certain subject, let's say you're in nursing and your supervisor of the floor says, we need to find out how many people we've lost on this floor in the last 10 years. Well, you go back and look for the next 10 years, but you just look 10 years, or you look the previous 10 years before that? You look the previous 10 years before that, because you've got to compare what? The last 10 years with what? The previous 10 years. You can't compare it to what? To the next 10 years, because you don't know who's going to die. All right? So you have to compare it to something. They tell you the last 5 years, and you go 5 years further. Next 10 years, you go the next 10 years further. Or, yeah. You have to know all that stuff. But you can't just, there's this thing in the real world called this. Okay? Now that's a donkey. The ass is a donkey. Okay? What does that mean? That means what that guy did. Because if you half-ass it, you can do it one time, maybe even 2 times. But what's going to happen? It's going to catch up with you, and it's going to bite you in the donkey. Okay? And you're going to end up getting fired. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. In real life, There is no participation trophies. Okay?
What?
No, I'm sorry. I'm
That's
sorry.
why I'm here.
I know. You get fired or you get a bonus. So if you're late twice, you get fired or you get wrote up. I'm sorry, Mr. Ellis. I'm really sorry to give you that news. Did you get a trophy all your life?
Yeah, that's never my problem.
Okay.
My boss always like, how long you been there?
So, don't be the assistant. Always take into account everything that, and how do you know that? Well, you pay attention to your job. Now, with probability, how do you find probability? Probability is real easy. The probability of an event happening is the number that happens over the number of tries. Okay? And it's always going to be a decimal between 0 and 1. If it's over 1, then we're talking about more than 100%. Okay? When you see a probability of an event happening, this is the way it's written. That's the probability of an event. Now, probability of kings is equal to 4 over 52. Now we're going to talk about the word called complement. Now, I don't know the spell with the E or there's two different complements. There's a complement that you get, like you sure are pretty, that's a compliment. And then there's a complement meaning the other half. Okay, is that right? Okay. What is a compliment? Well, when I was in school, when I was in the hood at Southwood, lunch was 65 cents. Okay? Now that was when lunch was real lunch, not this crap they serve today. Oh my gosh. When I go eat lunch with my son, I do not eat that food. And I used to be one of the kids that ate the food. When I was in elementary school, I was the only kid that ate the food because I thought it was good. Okay? Those little oatmeal chocolate cookies. Oh gosh, I loved them things. And all they did was pour them on the plate because they wasn't baked. And you picked them up, and they just drooped because it was all them things are so good. And the pizza, oh gosh, the pizza was just great. I went to my son's school the first time with this new kind of lunches, and I didn't eat but one bite. It was nasty. The pizza tastes like it was on cardboard. I mean, it was nasty. So whenever I go eat with my son, I take tactics. And I hate it. And I'm just waiting for one of them people to say something because I'm going to let them have it. I'm going to say, y'all start serving edible food, and I'll quit bringing Zaxby's.
It's got almond beans.
Oh, because this food's
I
terrible.
mean, they're just.
Now, I'm not talking about the beans and the corn and the applesauce. That's good, okay? But the food that they're supposed to get the main course, unless it's a meat, it's awful. I mean, it is. It's because they force this stuff down their throats and it's awful. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that. But to compliment, I was eating lunch, 65 cents. And my mother and father would always give me $1.
Big money.
So I always got what back? 35 cents. The complement of 65 cents is 35 cents. The complement of 75 cents is what? 25 cents. The complement of 99 cents is what? 1 cent. The complement is what makes up the whole. Always remember that. Think of a person getting married. Let's go with the male getting married. Okay? Because what does the female do to all males?
Spend their money.
Compliment. Okay, why is that? Because the male is imperfect and the female is perfect. And once you know that,
You gotta go somewhere.
you can, they're perfect. Yeah, your life will be easier. Okay? Now, if you confront that, then it's going to be a long road to hoe.
Okay, now that's not the hoe that y'all thinking about.
What are you talking
Long
about?
road of hoe. There's a tool in the garden called a hoe. H-O-E. Okay, and you hoe the weeds out.
That's the only one I know of. What
Well,
else is it?
you need to get with the program. There's other that's called HO. Okay, and it's a hoe. But that's not the hoe I'm talking about. Anyway, that's the compliment. What's the compliment of yes?
Yes, ma'am.
No. What's the complement of false? True. What's the complement of innocent? Guilty. You get it? Anything that makes up the whole. Now, a lot of people say, well, really, I don't know about that innocent. Was OJ innocent? No. Okay. Was OJ not found not guilty? He was found not guilty. He's not innocent. All right? That man had something to do with that murder. Okay? Whether he did it himself, whether he got somebody to do it, or whether he helped somebody do it, that man was not innocent. Let me give you a scenario.
You remember that?
Okay? Mr. Ellis, I'm trying to teach you.
These kids don't know that.
Well, they need it's their parents' fault. Let's say that Mr. Ellis works at Papa John's Pizza. Okay, you with me? And he works there, and he's got a roommate, Mr. Goolsby, and Mr. Goolsby don't have a car. Okay? And Mr. Goolsby calls Mr. Ellis and says, I need to borrow your car tonight. And Mr. Ellis works from like 2 o'clock in the afternoon to like 3 o'clock in the morning making pizzas. Or he's the manager there and he has to close up real late. So he says, okay. So Mr. Goolsby gets a ride up to the Papa John's and he goes in and he gives him the keys and he uses the car. Okay, he brings the car back, gives him the keys, and walks out about 12 o'clock midnight. Okay? So he's still there for a couple hours. Well, Mr. Ellis is fixing to close, and here comes Popo. And they do all the lights out in front of Papa John's, and they're putting him in handcuffs, and everybody takes a picture of the Anderson Independent, and puts him in the back of the car. And they get him to the police station, and they tell Mr. Ellis that he is being arrested for robbing the QT down there on Whitehall Road. Okay? And they say, you didn't only rob the QT there, you robbed the QT up there on 81, too.
Oh, man.
Okay? And then the police says, why didn't you rob the QT down in LA? Oh, there ain't one. That's why. Well, the steer didn't get robbed. Anyway, we don't have a QT, we don't have a Wendy's, we don't have a Chick-fil-A. Why? Because they're smart. That's
They know
why.
better.
They know better. They ain't coming around LA. Heck, the Waffle House even gets robbed in LA. 3 times. With bullet holes in the daggum window pane.
That's the truth.
It is. You sit at that first booth, you see the holes. Anyway, to make a long story short, should they let Mr. Ellis go? Is he innocent or is he not guilty?
Innocent.
He's innocent. Why? Because what does Papa John's have in their workplace? Cameras. What do they also have? Employees. There's going to be about 5 employees that's going to say that Mr. Ellis was there driving them crazy until 3 o'clock in the morning. And they're going to go back and they're going to look at the cameras and they're going to see Mr. Ellis spitting in people's food, putting it in the oven,
Slacking people.
and they're going to say, okay, let him go. He's innocent. Why didn't they say not guilty? Because there is no way he would even get to see the first day in court, because why? He's completely what? Innocent. He has a what? Alibi. Then they start thinking, wait a minute, this guy's got a roommate. Then they come to Mr. Dark Cloud over here, and they start pulling the QT cameras. And they start saying, well, This guy doesn't look like Mr. Ellis. And then they start comparing the guy in the QT to this guy. The guy has his hat turned around wearing a red Georgia football shirt. Huh. It wasn't you. All right, so he says, what's your alibi? And he says, as OJ says, I haven't got one. And he says that, and he says that, and he says that. And there's nobody that can say where he was at that time. So, is he guilty? Is he innocent, or is he not guilty? Or is he guilty? Well, he's guilty, but in the court of law, he's either guilty or what? Not guilty. Why don't we say he's either guilty or innocent? Because if you're innocent, you shouldn't make it where? To the first day of court. Okay? So that's the difference between guilty and not guilty. I mean, innocent and not guilty. And you can use that same type of reasoning with a lot of things. Even, what's the opposite of even? Not even. Depends on if you're talking about cards or if you're talking about Vegas. Because Vegas, there's things on the roulette wheel that are neither odd or what? Even. And you have to say, you can't say odd or even, you have to say odd or not odd. Okay, because there's a difference. Now, if I said odd or even for deck of cards, you would say, okay, odd or even. Because there is no not odd in a deck of cards, or not even. Okay, so you have to think, which leads me to this next point. In probability, why do people suck at it? Because they can't what? Read. Yeah. Now what does that mean, you can't read? They can read. Let me give you an example. I am the world's worst at reading half a sentence. Okay? I don't read till the end. And you'll see that with me when I do problems on the board. I'll read half the sentence and then I'll start working. You can't do that, and I'll show you that. I'll do it by example. I'll show you that on purpose by doing the problem and finding out I did the wrong thing because I didn't read the question all the way what? Through. There's going to be questions that you have in this class to where you got to read whether the question says or if it says and. If it says odd or if it says even. Okay? You've got to read the whole question. Most of the time when people get a question wrong in probability, it's because they didn't read the what? They didn't read the whole question. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do, I want the class to divide up into 5 groups. And I'll divide you up because pretty much it'll be these 4 people, then these 5 people, then 4 people, 3 people back there, then you 4, and then you 2, or you 3 and you 3. Okay? All right? I have to put a female with these 2 because they won't know how to do anything. Okay? So y'all get up in your groups. There'll be 3 people. These 4 people. These 4 people. 3 people. 3 people. 3 people. And I'm going to give you these deck of cards.
You want to do the exercise?
Huh?
You want to do that?
No, she got mad at me. She's going to leave. Well, you 3 people. Now, I'm going to give you a deck of cards, and I'm going to give you a die. Now, listen to this, because y'all going to screw it up. All right? I'm not going to tell you the directions again. You're supposed to do 10 hands. That means you have to shuffle them about 20 times. This deck is getting a little bit better because I can shuffle it a little bit better. Oh well, so much better. And then you do a hand. You can cut them, you can do it, you can hold them like this and pick a card. You need to predetermine what you're trying to get. This group may want a heart. This group may want a face card. This group may want a king. This group may want even. This group may want odd. And then you have to find out what the theoretical probability of odd is, with ace being a 1 or an 11. And you have to find out what the observed is. So you're going to have to shuffle this deck at least 10 times and pick 10 cards and write down what you got. So when I shuffled them, so I want face cards. So that's 12 out of let's see, there's 3 times 4, 12 out of 52. That's my theoretical probability. So my first hand, I pick a 2. I write that down, 2 of hearts. Then I do it again, just like I did a while ago. And I do that, and I shuffle 5 or 6 times. And I do this, have somebody cut it if you want to. I pick a card, and it is a king. So I put king. And I shuffle it again, do it 10 times. Okay? And write down what you come up with. Also, roll the die 20 times. Pick what you want. Let's pick a 2. Then you roll it 20 times. Write down each time. There's a 2. Write it down. 2. Write it down. 3. Write it down. And you do that 20 times. Okay? Has everybody got that? Somebody will mess it up. Anybody want to take a bet? Anybody want to bet me a lunch or something?
We all know you're talking about that.
Yeah. Don't worry. We're gonna let Mr. Goolsby take care of you.
Yeah, he done me good last time.
Got you 10 to life. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So you have to find somebody to shuffle, somebody to record, and somebody to pick. And hopefully you won't mess it up.
What do you want to pick?
I guess y'all just have to. This is not for a grade, it's just kind of drive the point on what probability is. So go ahead and do it.
All the face cards.
Find something you want. Somebody can pick spades. Somebody can pick odd. Somebody can pick even. Somebody can pick a face card. Somebody can pick a queen. Now, you at home, y'all just sit there. Y'all can get your deck cards and try it if you want to, if y'all are still awake. I doubt y'all are still awake, but if you're still awake, you can try it.
Sure.
That was perfect. Yeah.
How do you play these daggum episodes? I went to the queue and it says in queue, but it doesn't say play. I don't understand. Huh? Oh, that's good. Just throw the stuff on the ground. I've never had that problem before. Usually I just click on the episode.
What are you on?
Netflix.
No, you're not. You're on DVD.com, a Netflix company.
Get off of that and go back to Netflix.
This is Netflix.
Okay, we'll find
Congratulations. What is it?
numbers. There it is up there. Oh, I hit DVD results.
Is this it?
No, go to numbers right there. No, that's DVD results. That's what I hit. Go down.
No.
No, go down. No, go back to see the explore this title right there.
Explore titles related to the
Oh.
numbers.
Well, where's
This
the
is
freaking
only.
numbers?
This is only on.
It used to not be.
I'm looking.
Well, that sucks.
Hold on.
Yeah, I probably should.
I class all the time.
Okay.
Are these rigged?
Yeah, I rigged all of them. Did y'all take the big and little joker out and the instruction cards?
What is the traffic?
There should be 4 cars sitting out. Cars. I don't know. Twiddling your thumbs. See if you can borrow Mr. Ellis's car.
Yeah. I just got out. I didn't remember that.
It's not on there anymore.
I'm looking for somewhere to play it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Because if it's not on Netflix, that's activities. I don't want to do that. Don't worry about it. I'll see if I can figure out how to do it from home.
Oh, they actually might be on YouTube.
What's that?
Numbers, episodes.
Yeah, that's what YouTube was.
You don't know what YouTube
No. I said, what is that?
I was about to say, you post stuff on it.
I know. You can ignore him. You don't know what that is.
She fell for it, didn't she?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, see, that's not it. That's the cast. Oh, great. Netflix is taking numbers off and put it on DVD.
There you go.
Hulu? Oh, great. I got to subscribe to something else?
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that. That's what I did Netflix, so I can get that now.
You dropped down into it.
Don't worry about it.
Really is probability that in a thick mark versus dropped on the car been wrong.
Now, calculate the probability of the observed and match it with the probability of the theoretical. So how many times did you, what's y'all looking for? Huh? Okay, how many did you actually pick that was even out of 10? So it's 0.6. Now, what is the theoretical probability?
Hey, this is kind of the.
You got to count it up.
This is kind of like math related.
Just forget it. Netflix is screwing me over. So. 4, 6, 8, 10. Then all the face cards.
I thought you were like 8.
Yes. Then I.
Yeah, the first one.
No,
You don't want to do
it's
it?
like in the second or third season. It's called OC.
OC?
Yeah.
That's what it's called?
Mhm. Just put second season.
This one?
No, that's the OC. You have to put numbers, second season. OC. Second season. Nope. Is that it? Up there? What is that?
That's not.
Try your hand.
I don't see it. I think that's it right there where it says episodes.
This?
Uh-huh. Finish.
Okay, I'll have to pull it up on YouTube. But anyway, what you should see is that your observed is not equal to your theoretical. Okay, and that's why you do this little activity. What about the die? What did you find out about the die?
At 6 sides, there's not a 7.
You should find out if it doesn't get to you later. Now, what I want everybody to do tonight, I want you to go home and find out how many times it takes.
I'm sorry.
How many times it takes for you to roll a die to get the theoretical equal to yeah. It'd be like 100,001, 100,002. Now you're able to go home and do 5.1 homework. I want everybody to do 5.1 homework. Well, what about 4.1 homework? Have I covered 4.1 yet? Then you don't need to do it. It's real simple. You do what I covered. Okay? All right, y'all go home. I'll give everybody attendance for today. Pull up Skype and hit record.
Yeah.
Pull up that.
We're still
That's cooking. And then go to that.
Just
Yep.